Hello and welcome back to the BBC Production Apprenticeship series where we are 1 year on from finishing the scheme. So I thought I'd just jump on and give you guys a little update as to where I am in my career and what life has been like since completing and graduating from the BBC Production Apprenticeship scheme. So if you haven't already seen the rest of the series, make sure you head on back and watch all of them. There's loads of tips and advice on if you're thinking of doing the scheme or if you just generally are interested in television. So I would strongly recommend watching them. I'll link the playlist down below. So I graduated the BBC Production Apprenticeship scheme in October 2019. So we are a little bit past the year anniversary of me graduating the scheme, but it's come to the end of the year and I thought, what better time to reflect upon life over the last couple months and to kind of sit down and figure out where I am. So I graduated in October 2019 and straight out of that I went on to do Geordie OGs, which essentially is Geordie Shore. It's a spin-off of Geordie Shore and it's following around the original cast and where they are now. So it was basically a bit of reality TV and my role within that was something called logger. And what a logger does is they basically sit and type everything that's said. So as the Geordies were sat chatting, Geordie 1, Geordie 2, maybe Geordie 3 in the background, I would be sat there with an iPad typing down everything they said with a time code. And the reason we log is for the edit suite so they can see the best bits and then clip them out and pop them into the show. So if sometimes they need a sound bite for the show, they can look at the logs and type a key search word and it will bring it up and tell them the time code of the footage and then they can edit it a lot easier. So that was my main role on Geordie, and I was also a runner, so it's just general running, so setting up kit, driving. There was a lot of driving, so I was driving a lot from London to Newcastle. We went all over the UK. We did bits in Brighton, Liverpool, Manchester, obviously Newcastle, and some bits in London. So I really loved doing that job, and that took me through to December. Finished for a couple of weeks in December and did a couple of extra days throughout January. So now we're into 2020, January 2020. If you know anything about the TV industry, January and February are some of the worst times to be a freelancer in TV because there isn't much work. There's not a lot going on. It's very quiet after Christmas. So I was struggling a little bit, so I did a few extra pickup days with Geordie. So I was into a green screen studio, doing some master interviews and doing some more logging for that. I did a corporate video, just a one-off, and a music video shoot. And if you know me and my channel going way back, I used to make a lot of music videos, so it's quite nice to do a real music video. So I did that this year. And then we're getting to February, and February is kind of where COVID is beginning to crop up a little bit in this country. We're starting to become a little bit concerned. And I was out of work, I was walking down the South Bank with my boyfriend, and I got a phone call from someone who I'd worked with on Comic Relief on the apprenticeship scheme. And she was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to come down and do some work? And it's basically, the work I did for this one was standing in. So a stand-in, pretty self-explanatory, I just stood in. So it was for Little Mix the Search, and I had to sit on the pink sofa for the audition rooms and pretend to be Perry Edwards from Little Mix. Now, that was a little bit of a dream. It was a lot of fun to just sit there and get paid to just sit there because they needed someone sat in position so they could set the studio up for the lights, check the microphones and everything. So I did that for the auditions for Little Mix. And then because I did that one day, that got extended, and then I was there with the bands. I was there in the contestant room. I was a contestant holding room runner. Now that is a mouthful. So that basically, my job then was to keep all the contestants energized because it was a very long day filming. So I was there for those few days and just kind of keeping them energized. We did a lot of lateral thinking games to kind of keep them distracted from the nerves. And also because one of the things I didn't want at this stage of the initial auditions before they were put in a band, they didn't want them to get to know each other well because they wanted to capture that organically. So I had to stop them from talking about who they were, where they were from. So that was a lot of fun. So the guys that won it since September, I remember at the auditions, Matthew, the Irish one, I was chatting with him, and I don't know, there was just something that clicked with me, and I was like, he's a star. And I got on really well with Matthew, and I said to him, I went, you could be like the Irish one, like out of One Direction. And look at him now, he won the show. So super proud of the guys from Since September and everyone else from the show. Like there was so many good auditions, and it was a really good show. So that was kind of the last thing I did before lockdown hit. And then obviously we all went into lockdown. And at that point I was like, I cut my losses, I moved out of London, came back to Grimsby to be with my family for lockdown, and I picked up a job at Tesco as a delivery driver. Not very glamorous, but has 2020 been glamorous? No, it has not. So since lockdown lifted, I have been at Tesco's. I've been there since March, and I'm still there today, but they're really great Tesco's. They've let me go off and do Children in Need this year. So I was there for that, and I was a presenter runner. I was looking after Mel Giedrick. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but Mel from the Bake Off, Mel and Sue. And oh my God, what a bloody lovely lady. Such a kind lady. A complete joy to work with. So my job was to keep her to her schedule, to make sure she was in the studio at the correct time, get her to do voiceovers, get her into the voiceover booth, just generally keep her schedule, and essentially it's a PA role. So I did that for Mel on Children in Need this year, and then a couple of weeks after that I did the Top of the Pops Christmas and New Year special. And again, these are the Children in Need and Top of the Pops, and actually Little Mix. They're all contacts that I gained from the apprenticeship. So it's nice that that scheme has provided me essentially with the majority of my work this year. I know it's not been a lot of work, but I tell you something, seeing my name in the credits of Top of the Pops on BBC One on Christmas Day, that was a real special moment for me, and something that I will cherish for a long time. And that only happened because of the apprenticeship scheme. And whilst I was on both Children in Need and Top of the Pops, I was able to meet some of the current apprentices who are in the 2019-2020 cohort. And I feel really sorry for them coming out of the apprenticeship and into the current climate, because TV is still very touch and go at the minute. There's very minimal crew on set. So it's really difficult to work in TV at the minute. So that's kind of my career of 2020 and what I've done TV work wise. I'm still currently at Tesco, very much ready to get back to the TV world. I did have an opportunity pop up to do a hospital themed show in Hull, but then COVID came back with a second wave, and a second lockdown stopped that job from happening. So it's all very touch and go. I'm very open and hoping that 2021 will be the year. I would love, any of you who followed me for a while now will know that I very much love the idea of being a presenter. So it would be a dream to get some more presenting work done or some more on-screen stuff done. I would absolutely love that. Obviously I've done a little bit in the past. I would love to do more. I'm very open to branching into new genres of TV. I'd love to do children's, and a dream of mine would be to get into ITV. I've not done any ITV work yet, so I'd love to do either ITV daytime or ITV entertainment. Obviously I've done a lot of entertainment already, so I would love to do some more. The reason I got into TV was I went to see Loose Women, and I was part of the crowd, and that was my aha moment. I want to work in TV. So it'd be quite full circle for me to go and work on a show like Loose Women. So that's always a dream of mine. I'm very much open to new genres and new roles, and I'm just hopeful for 2021. So that's it, 1 year on from graduating the production apprenticeship scheme. That's where I'm at. That's been my career highlights of 2020. Fingers crossed for a better 2021. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you have checked out all of the other apprenticeship scheme themed videos. They're in a playlist which I'll link down below. If you are thinking of applying for the scheme or you're on it, and any comments are welcome, please keep them respectful and I'll reply to them all if I can. My DMs are always open. A lot of you are still sending me questions almost every couple of days now about the apprenticeship scheme, so I'm always here to answer them, and maybe one day I might do a Q&A on the apprenticeship scheme. So if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below and I might just do a general apprenticeship scheme questions video. Make sure you follow my socials, again linked in the description, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.